You've done the hard work, dug deep, faced yourself, tried to change. You've extended the olive branch, the teacup, the handwritten note, and still, silence, resistance, rewrite after rewrite of the same painful script. In Wonderland, doors talk and flowers sing, but sometimes the people we long to connect with the most, build walls too high for even magic to climb. This series is for those moments when your vulnerability is met with rolled eyes, when your growth is seen as betrayal, and when trying to reconnect feels like shouting through a hedge maze. You're not imagining it, you're not too much, and no, you don't owe anyone a version of yourself that shrinks just to fit inside their comfort zone. This is the wall and the wonderland, a journey into what it means to seek closeness, and what it costs when others refuse to meet you halfway.
Imagine trying to play a game of croquet. Only the mallets are flamingos, the balls are hedgehogs, and the hoops keep moving just when you're about to score. That's what it feels like when you're trying to connect with someone, but the expectations and the rules keep shifting beneath your feet. You show up, you do your best to play fair, and yet somehow it feels like the game is rigged. Welcome to today's episode of Wonderland Unlocked, where we step into the chaos of croquet without rules. We'll explore what it's like when relationships demand you to jump through the ever-changing hoops, where what counted yesterday doesn't count today. We'll unpack why the goalposts move, how it leaves you spinning, and what you can do when the game feels less like a connection and more like survival. So if you've ever felt like you're playing by one set of rules while someone else rewrites them in real time, this episode is for you. Let's dive in. Imagine you're at the croquet court again, ready to play by the rules you've learned. You show up consistently, you hold your flamingo mallet steady, you aim carefully, you try to follow the game, but then, just when you think you've got the hang of it, the goalpost shifts. The hoops move farther away. The flamingos start flapping wildly, the hedgehog dart in directions you didn't expect. What you thought doing the work meant suddenly changes. Maybe yesterday it was about apologizing. Today it's about proving you're always the one who's wrong. You make progress and the demands get higher. Blame slides from one side to the other without warning. It's exhausting. You start to doubt yourself. Did you misunderstand? Are you not trying hard enough? Or is the game rigged? In Wonderland, croquet isn't a game of predictability. It's chaos with rules that bend and twist like the hedgehogs and flamingos themselves. And when you're caught in that shifting game, it's hard to know where you stand, or if you're even allowed to stand at all. We'll talk more about why these goalposts keep moving and what it means for connection and trust coming up next. So why do the goalposts keep moving? Why does it feel like no matter how hard you try, the rules keep changing just to keep you off balance? There are a few reasons why this happens, often rooted in control and power. Sometimes moving the goalposts is a way to keep the upper hand. By shifting expectations, the other person stays in charge of the game, deciding what counts and when. Other times, it's fear. Fear of being vulnerable. Fear of accountability. When faced with real change or responsibility, some people retreat moving the goalposts to avoid feeling exposed or wrong. It can also be a tactic, manipulation to avoid real connection. By constantly changing the rules, they keep you chasing, distracted, off-center. It's exhausting, but it keeps them dominant. Sometimes these shifts come from emotional insecurity or trauma responses. Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. When someone's nervous system is triggered, they might react by deflecting or controlling the conversation, even if unintentionally. Whatever the reason, this dynamic sabotages connection and trust. Instead of creating safety, it breeds confusion and doubt. It's hard to build anything real when the ground keeps moving beneath you. This happens in many types of relationships: family members who refuse to admit old wounds, romantic partners who shut down difficult talks, friends who minimize your feelings, or coworkers who change expectations without warning. So here's a brief self-check. If you feel like you're constantly chasing a moving target, if the goalposts feel rigged and the rules unclear, you might be playing a game that's impossible to win. When rules keep shifting beneath your feet and the game feels rigged from the start, it's easy to feel small, powerless, and confused. But here's the truth you need to hear. You don't have to keep playing by their ever-changing rules. You can reclaim your playbook and regain your sense of control, safety, and self-respect. Let's explore how. First, setting clear boundaries is a powerful first step. Boundaries are not about building walls to shut others out. They're like guardrails along a twisting path, guiding you and protecting your well-being. Say to yourself, and when needed, say out loud, "This is what I will accept. This is what I won't." Whether it's about how you're spoken to, how disagreements are handled, or the way your feelings are honored, make those lines clear. And remember, boundaries are an act of self-love, not selfishness. Next, clarify expectations as clearly as you can. If possible, have open conversations where you define what doing the work or making progress really means to everyone involved. Sometimes putting things in writing, even just notes for yourself or shared agreements, can anchor you when the verbal rules start to shift. Clarity can expose when someone tries to move the goalposts because the rules become harder to change when they're written down or spoken plainly. Third, check in regularly with yourself. Ask, what do I need right now to feel safe and respected? What feels okay, and what feels like it's pushing me beyond my limits? Where do I feel seen? Where do I feel unheard? This kind of self-awareness is your compass in the chaos. When the other player tries to pull the game into confusion, you can rely on your own clear sense of what feels right. It's also important to learn to recognize manipulation or control tactics, even when they're subtle. If you find yourself constantly trying to catch up or shifting expectations, or if blame keeps landing on your shoulders no matter what you do, that's a warning sign. Manipulation often wears the mask of concern or helpfulness, but underneath is control. You don't have to play along. And here's something crucial. Sometimes the bravest, most self-loving choice is to step away from the game entirely. You don't have to stay on that chaotic croquet court forever, wading through the flying flamingos and darting hedgehogs. You can choose to walk off the court, to find a new game, or even to play alone on your own terms. In Wonderland, walking away from the madness isn't giving up. It's choosing yourself over chaos. It's reclaiming your power and peace. Remember, you get to choose how you play. You get to decide what rules make sense for you. And when the other players refuse to respect those rules, it's okay to stop playing by their game. Let's take this quiet moment to reflect. Think back to the relationships in your life. What shifting rules have you experienced? When have expectations moved without warning? How did that make you feel? Maybe frustration, confusion, or even exhaustion. Maybe it left you doubting yourself, questioning what you did wrong. Now imagine what it might look like if you could set clear boundaries or practice self-care in those moments. What would that feel like? What would it sound like? Here's a journaling prompt for you. Write down what your ideal rules for connection would be. What would make you feel safe, heard, and respected? No right or wrong answers here, just your truth. And to hold on to as you move forward, here are a few affirmations and boundary statements you might find helpful. I deserve consistency and respect. It's okay to ask for space when I feel overwhelmed. I can step away from conversations that don't feel safe. Take a breath with me. And know that setting these boundaries is an act of courage, not conflict. You're reclaiming your peace one choice at a time. As we wrap up, remember this: you deserve relationships with clear, consistent expectations, not games where the goalposts keep moving just to keep you guessing. Notice when those goalpost shifts, when the rules change without warning, and stand firm on your needs. Because your voice, your boundaries, and your peace matter. Here in Wonderland, the game might be chaotic, but you get to choose how you play. And sometimes the bravest move of all is walking off the court. If this episode resonated with you, please consider leaving a review or sharing it with someone who might need to hear it. It helps this little Wonderland grow and reach others navigating their own crooked croquet courts. Thanks for spending this time in Wonderland with me. Take gentle care of yourself. Until next time.